dreams within reach. It's time to rise. Body, soul, and mind. Open your eyes. Climbing higher, step by step. Real talk, no regrets get set. One step, one love, we rise. Walk the talk, break free. Get to the truth, your story's the proof.
Yes. Yes. I love this part. To be. Welcome back again. I am your host, Ryan Keys, and this is the Living Proof Podcast with Ryan Keys. And today's episode is going to be a little bit unorthodox. I might step on some toes. I might make you feel uncomfortable in some kind of ways. And I'm going to go against the grain here because I'm going through something, and I'm going to explain that. But today, we're talking about healing without shame, overcoming your struggles without becoming them. You know, for years, God, almost a decades, wow. I've taught personal transformation, faith, and this positive mindset. I was a law of attraction person. I've been a Christian believer for a long time. I've moved back and forth between my faith and my beliefs and different things. I've worked with thousands of people. You can look in my YouTube. I've got videos that have been watched 400,000 or 500,000 times. So I thought I had made it. I thought I had manifested a beautiful life and was creating, moving to Europe and other things and being able to live abroad. And then life handed me an unexpected challenge. It's one that I never would have asked for. But even though I'm not battling, I'm moving through it. Let me correct my own self. I don't want to cherry pick my language and I don't want to police my dialogue, but battling is such a controversial word and has such a negative overtone. So, Ryan, you're moving through it, right? So, one thing that is deep in my understanding on everything that I've been teaching is this neurological challenge, this Parkinson's / dystonia, and whatever else they want to jot down about the condition when I go to the neurologist. It has been a humbling experience, a very humbling experience. You see, because this time last year, I went from mentally knowing where I was fully, guiding others on their healing journey, to having to embody my own teachings in a whole new way. I would say that nothing tests your beliefs more than when you have to practice what you preach, when you have to put the pedal to the metal and you have to walk the talk. And that's what the Living Proof Podcast really is about. And this episode is really about navigating life's unexpected turns without getting stuck in that blame cycle, that self-blame, or being shamed or shaming yourself, or getting limited by these labels that we ultimately unconsciously identify with. It's about healing as a process, not as a destination. Because I've got news for myself and for you. Number one, you are not your diagnosis. You are not your anxiety. You are not your past. You are not your problem. Or you may be your problem, but we're moving through it very proactively. We're going to use common sense to cut out a lot of wasted time, trim the fat, move forward, and enact as quickly as possible a healing modality, a healing mindset. And, you are someone that's moving through an experience like myself. As you move through it, the key is not to become it, right? So in this episode, we're going to talk about honoring your healing without making the struggle your identity. The truth about manifestor's guilt, because that is a huge topic that needs to have the lid blown off from both religious and the new age groups coming in at all sides, invoking shame because of what you're going through, how you're operating, right? Because are you really creating more of what you focus on if you are addressing the problem? Do you really cancel it? Do you ignore it? Do you sweep it under the rug and keep on going? What do you do? And then we're also going to call out, and we're going to talk about the balance between faith, science, and this mindset of healing. Overall, we're going to release shame. We're going to embrace growth, no matter what stage you're in. And then we're going to talk about some small daily shifts to help move you forward without dripping into toxic positivity too much. So I'd like to put this out there. If you are moving through your own challenge, I invite you to join me in the Living Proof Patreon community for exclusive content. I'm uploading tools. I'm going to put books in there, other things that could be really helpful for you along the way, and also support. We're going to be live in there twice a month, sorry, not 2 times a week. So if this resonates with you, screenshot it, share it, leave a comment, reach out, contact me. Go to my site, ryankeys.com. I haven't renovated it yet for the Living Proof podcast, but it is coming forward. And let's just keep this conversation going in the Patreon community. So becoming living proof starts with my own personal experience, because I thought I was proficient at moving through life, manifesting and creating my realities. I thought that I had mastered not only the law of attraction, but the art of interaction. I thought I had been teaching Hermetic principles and other things. I thought that I was able to manifest everything and anything that I ever could have wanted, and I was on the way. But then, again, I got this diagnosis, this issue. It started slipping in mentally. It started slipping in through depression, cognitive issues, tinnitus, other things, cramping, pain, and hard times trying to swallow. It really started around 2020, back during COVID. And then it kind of progressed and really hit me, a little over a year ago. And I've been dealing with this emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I used to say this was a battle, but I don't do that anymore, right? So I say that I'm moving through it. I'm going from teaching healing to experiencing it yet again firsthand. You see, I've witnessed miracles. I've been a miracle. And right now I'm praying for a miracle. But I understand through many processes that without that manifestor's guilt, miracles can show up in different ways. Miracles can be a medical intervention. They can be that, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. A miracle does not necessarily mean that whatever your ailment is going to come back into alignment and you're going to be completely 100% where you were. You'll never be where you were, right? And that's the good thing. Now, navigating this kind of emotional roller coaster of this neurological condition is probably one of the hardest lessons that I've ever had to accept, because indirectly, if I were to allow this to become my identity, it is a death spiral. It takes me to the end of my life and progressively will or would get worse. Sure, I might have some highlights about being able to hop in and out of feeling better, but it would be basically managing a disease until it dissolves me completely. Now that's a darkened way to look at it. And that's talk about a dark night of the soul. That is definitely something that I did not think I was going to be going through. The hardest lesson is accepting help, right? And it's accepting my humanity and accepting being humble in the face of healing. And it's also kind of correcting some of the things that I had taken for granted, and also some of the practices that I didn't realize were easier to preach than to put into play. So, and before we move forward, I want to lighten the load a little bit. So going through this situation, it's a movement, right? Now, I've been searching for about topics of wellness and flexibility. So I asked my yoga instructor if he could teach me to do the splits. And he looked at me crazy and he said, well, how flexible you are. So, and I said, well, I can't make it on Tuesdays or Thursdays, but hey, bum. Get it? I set up the joke. That was the joke. You probably thought I was telling the real story, but that was the joke. I asked my yoga instructor if he could teach me how to do the splits. And he said, how flexible are you? And I said, I can't make it on Tuesdays or Thursdays. He meant, what's your stance like? I'm cracking myself up with these crazy kindergarten jokes. But hey, what do you do? So I think it's important as we go through this, we look at experiencing something versus identifying with that challenge. And again, we are on the fringe of manifestor's guilt, right? Because that is something that is very, very prevalent in the spiritual community, in this lock, stock, two smoke and barrel law of attraction kind of lifestyle. This Esther Hicks lifestyle. There is a definite dead end when it comes to what do I do with the feelings? What do I do with the fear? What do I do with these pre-programmed responses my body has when I feel threatened? So you're having an experience, right? You are not the experience. So for instance, I myself would say in this kind of situation, not identifying with my challenge, I have anxiety versus I'm an anxious person. I would say I'm experiencing a health challenge versus I am broken, right? I don't ever want to adopt something with that I am powerful phrase and put it on me as a billboard. I don't want to put that on me as a namesake, as a title, right? I am not Parkinson's. I'm experiencing the symptoms and the condition of Parkinson's while I'm dealing with it, but it's not me. It's not my identity, right? And then I wanted to say that your life is always speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? Right? Because healing isn't about removing the discomfort. It's about expanding your capacity to hold joy with the pain. It's about being able to take that sadness, look at it, surround it with love, feel it, and synthesize it back into something beautiful. You're not trying to bury these feelings. You're not trying to push these things away. And this is where shame and guilt and blame really circle the bowl, right? So one of the things that I think is that your perspective shapes your reality, your perception, your perspective. So when you speak about yourself as someone who's healing, adopt that. I'm healing, I'm growing, I'm moving through this. Not somebody who's stuck, right? Even though this is a quote unquote syndrome disease that is progressive, it's not my soul. It's not my entire experience. So your perspective does shape your reality. You know, you are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress. I think Sophia Bush said that, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is that this manifestor's guilt, it comes in a variety of ways. It comes in, and a lot of teachings will say, what you focus on, you create. Thoughts create things. You've heard that. It's a real popular phrase. Neville Goddard talks about the wish fulfilled. Joe Dispenza talks about attaching to the final outcome, the last chapter first. Wayne Dyer said that. But does acknowledging pain attract more of it? If I say I'm in pain, I'm experiencing pain. Or for instance, I talked to my therapist, because I do have a therapist for this. And I said, some of my cohorts in the New Age community kind of would make me feel guilty if I associated with people that are going through the same thing, because it would keep that mindset activated and just continue to create that reality. And I said, what do you think about that? And she's a big Louise Hay fan, right? And she said, okay, Ryan, let's look at it like this. If you were able to create reality that strongly, would you have really created this? And if you knew that, would you not manifest your way out of it, unless there's something to learn from it? So obviously, you're wanting to learn through this. This is a transition. This is a time for change. You're moving from one aspect of your life to another, and this is the modality that your soul chose to enact. And she said, and then so, for instance, if you were to join a Parkinson's group, maybe they're hikers, maybe they're Parkinson's kickboxers. I don't know. Probably, it'd be a little tough to kick too much, but maybe they're Parkinson's painters and they paint squiggly lines. But if you join that, is there a chance that even though everybody's going through the same thing, that there's a positivity developed through the struggle, and that you might learn something from somebody? They might open your eyes as to something. And I was like, yeah, there totally is. So there's this, it goes back to, again, that Sophia Bush quote, you are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress, right? So if what you focus on, you create. Focus is an interesting conundrum. What I don't focus on that I'm still feeling, I'm faking. If I don't answer those feelings, if I don't meet those feelings with truth and honesty and compassion and grace and get through them, learn how to transmute those feelings like alchemy. If I don't learn to do something with them other than sweep them under the rug, ignore them, or fake it till I make it, or move forward to that wish fulfilled, it has to be authentic. It has to be a legitimate shift. I have to be able to truly see and feel myself on the other side of, say, Saturday or next Tuesday or 6 months from now or a year from now. I have to really, truly be able to connect with that person. And if I'm not connecting with the person I am now as well, can I really connect with a vision of myself in the future if I'm ignoring something about myself? Because then there is this this falsity that appears. So it's a fine line to deal with the current awareness and not allow it to become an obsession, because you're breaking the shame cycle, right? It's okay to not acknowledge the reality, but then you want to heal through acceptance, not avoidance. You don't have to fake positivity, but you want to take that negativity, you want to take that knowledge of whatever you're going through, and you want to love it. You want to convert it. You don't want to worship it. You don't want to walk with it down the road, but you want to say, hey, you know what? Yes, I'm experiencing more pain than I ever had before. I'm experiencing more frustration than I've ever had before. Why? And is this true? Right? I want to stop it. I want to question it, and then I want to reshape it. Right? You've all heard of Byron Katie and the work. Begin to stimulate curiosity. Arouse curiosity in yourself, because balance is the key, and curiosity is a great lever or leverage to bring balance back to reality. So acknowledge those needs while holding a vision for something better, right? Now I want to hit you with a joke. Why did the Scarecrow become a successful motivational speaker? Because he was outstanding in his field. Because he was outstanding in his field. I'm so foolish. Oh my God, that's so bad. But I couldn't help myself, right? I'm reframing it. Basically, that's a joke. I'm taking the Scarecrow that's standing doing nothing in the field because I'm reframing his success as he's outstanding. Okay, so reframing, right? So instead of I'm manifesting more pain, say I'm responding to what my body needs. And if you say, if I think about my diagnosis, I'll stay stuck. Say, I can be aware and still believe in healing. Yes, I'm aware that what I'm going through is Parkinson's, is dystonia, is, God forbid, Hutchinson's. I understand that what I'm going through is going to take a lot of energy, a lot of attention, and most importantly, it's going to give me a chance to practice what I've preached for so long to the highest level, right? So you're not failing at manifestation because you're struggling. Healing in who you are, it's about trust. It's not about control. So when you're targeting your future version, when you're tracking yourself down the road, you're not trying to control your outcome. Number one, because I believe in God, I believe in the universe. I believe that God is bigger than I could imagine, right? I've died twice, so I can tell you there is something after this, 100%. And if you do the Liebelite, which I love, which I'm using as part of my therapy, I'll leave a link for the Liebelite down below. I know the developer, fantastic group of people, and we're going to start working on something, I think, on how to see if this can help with the cognitive issues, stimulating the brain. Anyway, that's a side note, but that'll be down in the description as well. So if you think about this, Healing is about trust, not control. So if I'm tracking, like Joe Dispenza says, if I'm becoming what I want, if my thoughts create a new reality, I'm connecting to the thought, to the feeling, to the wish fulfilled. I have to trust myself right now. I have to trust in my knowledge. I have to trust in my abilities, my grounding to get there, first off. And then not everything is in your control. It never has been, even if you're a manifester. A lot of things come in that are out of your control. So be prepared and actually be receptive for surprises. I could be magically healed. Got a friend that was healed magically. Jesus healed them. So fantastic. That can happen, and I'm open to that. And I'm hoping. I'm not only open, but I'm hoping, right? Open and hoping for that outcome. Because I believe that I can be surprised. God's going to surprise me with some amazing things coming down the pike. Now, this disease, this syndrome, is not something that is so bad that it is going to separate me from my power and understanding of purpose, of soul, and of something much bigger than just this life. It's not going to separate me from that. That is my key. That is the core being. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to connect it to the version of myself that feels healed, that feels like a success, that feels happy, that feels whole, that is maneuvered through this disorder and created something beautiful from it. So, for instance, there's this quote. It says, "Let it be easy, let it be messy, and let it be real," right? And then I want to think that there is this, if you hear anything chewing in the background, that's my dog, Bodhisattva. He is my service dog and service animal. He's chewing his bone, so I apologize. But he's doing his thing. When I'm podcasting, he loves to make noise and do crazy stuff in the background, so it makes for a challenging time. So let's talk about holding the vision and honoring who you are through the course of this so that we don't get stuck in this manifestor's guilt. I'd say the core message of this is you don't have to choose between faith and healing and acknowledging the struggle. You're doing both, right? One of the steps to balance would be to separate your truth from your experience, knowing that most things are circumstance. They're circumstantial. They are like pain will come and go. Muscle ache will come and go. Frustration will come and go. Rich and poor will come and go. Anger and sadness will come and go. So a lot of these things that you're experiencing, be able to learn what is, I mean, if you have a missing leg, that's truth. That's not going to come and go, right? But you can get a leg from a medical situation where they give you like a proxy body part, right? You get a prosthetic and that changes it, right? So that's no longer your circumstance. Now you have a prosthetic that gives you that tool. So separate your truth from your experience. And then I want you to feel it and then redirect it. And essentially you're acknowledging your pain, your problem. You're acknowledging the heartbreak. And then you're moving through it in small actions. It's not about jumping off the roof. It's small actions, right? Even saying, you know, I love myself no matter what's going on. Reaching out for help, right? Coming into the Patreon group on the live and asking for help, talking about your issues, not kvetching, but communicating and seeking a place for consolation through coming together in cooperation. And then speak as if you were becoming, not just waiting, right? So we want to shift our language. So we want to separate truth from our experience. We want to feel it. Then we want to redirect it. And then we want to speak as if you're becoming, not just waiting for it. You're not waiting to get better. You're not waiting for your healing. You're not waiting for a miracle, right? The biggest part about a miracle is you're not waiting for a miracle, because the miracle is that you are moving towards it. Always. You're a miracle moving towards more miracles. And you recognize that through gratitude, and you graft that gratitude into your daily grid, right? So you can accept your reality without surrendering to it. That's a big, big, big one, right? Even Rumi said, live as though the world is rigged in your favor, right? And speaking of that, here's another joke to crack up the code, right? What do you order at a spiritual hot dog stand? I'll give you one more. Chuck, we'll take that for no. What do you order at a spiritual hot dog stand? One with everything. See, there you go. So now that we're one with everything, and we're talking about small aligned actions, basically healing emotion, and knowing that healing happens one small shift at a time. Again, in the course of that shifting, right, we talked about like separate your truth, feel it, and then redirect it, and then speak as if. So one of the things you can do to shift that energy in that redirection is to move your body. 5 minutes a day helps to clear stagnant energy. Have you ever had, when you were a kid and you used to make chocolate milk? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you do. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you made chocolate soy milk. I don't know. Cacao, soy milk, whatever your flavor. But when I was a kid, I used to use Nestle Quick, total poison in a bottle. But I would put it in the milk and I would stir it with my spoon. And it'd get all chocolatey, and then I'd drink it for a little bit, and then all the chocolate would start to settle at the bottom, and then I'd drink it, and the milk would taste like watered down chocolate. And then I would like stir it again and be all better. So that 5 minute stretch, or that 5 minute walk, that 5 minute mental stretch even, helps to clear stagnant energy. So that's one of the 3 small steps in shifting your energy, shifting that redirection. The other is practice future gratitude. Now, gratitude, like Wayne Dyer said, thank you, is so important. But practicing future gratitude, do you do that? I didn't. And I've been doing this for so long, I can hardly I'm like, wait, what? Why wasn't I doing that? Practicing future gratitude. Thank you for my restored health. That's one of the prime ways to connect to that reality with real, earnest, honest feelings and love. And you bring that and draw that future back to yourself. Talk about wish fulfilled, right? And then visualize your healed self. Spend at least 2 minutes a day feeling fully empowered. Now, it doesn't mean that your leg grows back miraculously. It doesn't mean that the person that broke your heart comes back in with a bouquet of flowers. It doesn't mean that horrible boss that fired you calls you back and says, I need you. It doesn't mean that I stop shaking and breaking. But what it does mean is that I'm envisioning myself fully empowered, fully functional, fully aware, full, whole, happy with who I became, happy with where I'm at, and running, walking, enjoying life, doing something that has value, deep value across mind, body, and soul. So basically, healing is a daily choice, and those small steps that I just gave you, those 3, they add up. And what do they do? It's like William James said, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. So these little 3 steps to redirect in the course of that connecting to the future self, and avoiding that manifestor's guilt is like what William James said. Act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. Now, do we want one more joke? Yes, we want more. Let's one more joke. One more joke. Come on, Ryan. Ryan, could you tell us one more joke? Yes, I can. I can definitely tell you one more joke. I went to a spiritual healer last night. He was so bad, even the guy in the wheelchair got up and walked out. Rewind that if you didn't get it. Okay, so the final takeaway, my closing thoughts on this. Manifestor's guilt. Oh, gosh. It's just such a heavy thing. I never even imagined that I would be going through that. But healing isn't about perfection. It's about showing up daily. It's about small steps. You don't have to be fully healed to be worthy. You don't have to think positive 24/7 to get better, right? That's also something. And you don't have to be anyone's success story to deserve love and support. You are enough right here, right now. And what I would love to do right now is, unless you're driving, is I would like for you and me to sit here for a solid 7 seconds at least. Take a deep breath in and hold it and exhale. And do it one more time and visualize your healthiest, happiest self. And hold it, really feel it. and then exhale. And as soon as you did that, that version of you exists. And I'd like you to remind yourself of that. So open your eyes if you had them closed and just kind of carry this energy forward. This is just a quick little snippet of moving into that. So keep in mind, so your next steps from here, if you need it, go to the link below, join the Living Proof Patreon community. There's multiple tiers. Wherever you want to belong is up to you. Everybody gets the same benefit, whether it's from $5 to $55. It is one and done. It's up to you what you want to donate to this cause, to this community as I bring forward this message. And then share this. Get the biggest takeaway, share it on your social media. Tag me, please, if you can, so I can give you a shout out and say thank you. Leave a comment down below, subscribe, like, and leave a review. Subscribe, share, and just plant that seed. Send a message to the universe. I agree with Ryan. I don't want manifestor's guilt. I'm going through something. I've helped a lot of people, but now I had to pull back a little bit. I'm not canceling people. I'm not abandoning people, but I had to pull back and I got to work on myself a little bit, just like Ryan's doing. But I'm working on enhancing my flow, balancing my personal story, taking those steps, and I'm going to incorporate a couple of jokes. Right? So in that case, I'm sending you a lot of love, and we're going to close out with a song, and I will see you all shortly. Once again, this is me, Ryan Keys, your host for the Living Proof Podcast, and we may even be coming out with Living Proof product reviews. Products that have helped me or that could help you in different areas, especially if you're dealing with disabilities. I don't know, I'm tossing that around in my head. I keep having dreams of that, right? And if you need anything, you know where to find me. I do work with individuals. Not as many, not as much, so it's fewer. And then I'm developing and I'm writing my 5-minute miracle. It's not about manifesting a miracle that's specific. It's about becoming a miracle by 5 minutes a day, moving forward for 30 days. So peace, light, and love. I'll see you all soon. And have a beautiful evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Once again, this is Ryan Keys with the Living Proof Podcast, and I will see you beautiful people later.
Dreams within reach, it's time to rise. Body, soul, and mind, open your eyes. Climbing higher, step by step. Real talk, no regrets get set. One step, one love, we rise. Walk the talk, break free. Get to the truth, your story's the proof. Love